I'm Saturday hauling for you guys today, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with some Becca products. I finally went ahead and ordered the Becca, I think it's called the Pearl Glow collection. There's like only 2 pieces in the collection, but they came out with a Pearl Glow Shimmering Eye Palette and a Pearl Glow Luster Glow Powder. That's a mouthful. And I ordered these off of Ulta.com. I have not seen them in the store yet, but they are also available on the Becca website. So this is the outside packaging. It's like a translucent holographic plastic packaging for them. So the Pearl Glow Luster Glow Powder is 0.32 ounces, and you guessed it, it is baked gelée greatness. This is the highlighter that I have all over the high points of my cheeks today, and it's really beautiful. It most reminds me of 2 Dior highlighters that I'm going to go ahead and swatch next to this for comparison purposes. I really like it. Again, it's that baked jelly type of texture. So here is the packaging, a little bit of a different style compared to Becca's highlighters, which I appreciate a little bit of differentiation in their packaging instead of it kind of being the same all the time. But it's a really pretty lavender, and it reminds me of a spaceship, really. And then here is your highlighter. There is a mirror inside the compact as well. It's just a really beautiful baked jelly highlighter, and I am all over that, you know. So let me go ahead and swatch it right here. It's really, really beautiful, you guys. It's a little bit more pink than the Dior Nude Skin that I absolutely love, but I still really like this one as well. In order to really pick this product up on a brush and kind of get the most of it, you do need a more stiff, kind of firm brush to pick it up. It is that baked jelly texture, and this one is pretty firm in the pan. Well, there's not really a pan because baked jelly products usually don't come in pans. They're like on a grid underneath. And my most used brush on baked jelly products like this, especially the more firm ones, is this Chikuhodo highlight brush. And it's from, I think it's called Passion series. Beautylish sells this little brush. Actually, I believe that's where I had purchased mine, and it's not too terrible of a price, but I have used this brush and used this brush. I've had it for, I would say, 4 or 5 years. I've had it for a really long time, but this type of a brush, because it is like, again, a more firm, kind of stiff bristle on it, just picks up these jelly products pretty good. Should I put some more on? I have a lot on already. Should I just put a little more on? Just put a little more on. We don't want to waste no big jelly, right? But I wanted to show you guys this brush. Again, it's from Chikuhodo. It's their highlight brush from, I want to say it's the Passion series. And again, Beautylish does sell this brush. And then I want to compare it next to the Dior Skin Nude Air Luminizer in 002. I've actually gone through an entire one of these highlighters. It came out originally in a limited edition spring collection, and then they released it in kind of their permanent range. So I want to show it next to it. This isn't as pink as the Becca one. The Becca one has got a little bit more pink to it, but they are similar. I'm sorry, you guys are hearing a vacuum in the background. So you can see that the Becca one is a little bit more pink. And then I've also got the Dior Skin Nude Luminizer in Lolly Glow. And this one, I can't remember when this one came out, but I have seen this still available on a couple websites. This one is a little bit closer of a dupe to the Becca one, but I do feel like the Becca one may be ever so slightly a dash more shiny. Well, they're pretty similar, I guess. So those are the 2 Diors. This is the Lolly Glow, and that's 002 Dior Nude Skin, and then there's the Becca right there. And then here's the Pearl Glow Shimmering Eye Palette. There's a total of 0.51 ounces of product in here, or 14.4 grams, and this is what the packaging on this guy looks like. It's relatively thick. Some of the shadows are domed, but I do feel like they could have made the packaging just a little bit slimmer because it's pretty chunky. And there's a good sized mirror in there, again with the pretty lilac. And then you have got 6 shades in here that are the 6 right down the middle. Those are baked gelée. I will say that this one, it's this guy right here. It's got kind of a peachy pink duochrome, is quite flaky and much more sheer than these 4 down here. This one's a little sheer too, but not as sheer as that guy. And there are only 2 mattes in here, which are these 2 on the bottom. They're quite pigmented, but there's not a whole lot of other mattes to work with. The other 4 shades in here are a pearl kind of satin shimmer, but very, very fine. So I just found when I was using this, I wanted to incorporate other shades or other palettes in use with this palette, because I do like these shades in the center. The outside shades are nice as well, but I don't feel like all together it just pairs that well, if that makes sense. I kind of think it would have been really cool if they would have made the 6 shades on the outside all matte shades, like crease, transition, highlight, and then the center shades, those really, you know, intense kind of baked jelly shiny ones. I think that would have been kind of a perfect pairing for a inclusive palette. But in any event, let me give you guys some swatches. I'll do the outside ones first. This periwinkle is really pretty. It's like a periwinkle purple, and the mattes are very pigmented, but they are dark shades. So those are the first 3 on the outside, and then these other 3 on the outside. I just think it's kind of interesting that there's so many soft shades and some really intense deep shades, but not a lot of mid-tone stuff to work with. But so those are your more standard eyeshadows. Now I'll swatch the 6 baked jelly shades here. This one's got a pretty intense blue duochrome to it. This is the most flaky sheer shadow out of the bunch. This color is really pretty. I kind of think that sheer, more flaky one, I'm really tempted to put it on my face as a highlighter. So those are the first 4, and then the 2 bottom shades right here. So there are all the shades. So you can see, you know, there's a lot of lightness and a lot of darkness, but not a lot of in between type of situation. And then again, there are only 2 mattes, which are these 2 really dark brown and a black. So just an interesting kind of color story they got going on. And then I have another product from Becca, and it's the Pop Goes the Glow Champagne Pop Face and Eye Palette. Again, quite the title. And I really wasn't going to pick this up, and then when I was in Ulta the other day, they had it and it was 40% off, and so I was like, and who did I watch? I watched a YouTuber, and they were saying how much they were using this palette on both their eyes and their face, and it just kind of made me gravitate towards it just a little bit more. And then again, the 40% off, so I ended up picking it up. So this is the box packaging, and then here is the actual packaging. It's okay. I think they were trying to be real enticing with this glitter here, but it's just kind of a little bit more plain kind of cardboard packaging in there. And then you've got a champagne pop highlighter, caramel, truffle up here, berry, and then pink cream over here. And these shades will be kind of more blush bronzy shades on my skin tone, but on a deeper skin tone, those would definitely suffice for kind of a highlighter. The blush shade in berry it's pigmented, but it's a quite stiff texture compared to the highlighter shades. But I'm still yet to toy around with this a little bit more, and I'm still, I don't know, I'm still kind of having a little bit of buyer's remorse, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, some of the textures, you know, compared to the other Becca highlighters in the compacts, they do feel a little bit dry in this palette. But there's the first 3, so you can see still really shiny Becca highlight type of textures there. And these bottom 2. Yeah, that blush really feels like the driest one. I just feel like this is more like a summer release rather than like a fall winter one. But anyway, I did pick it up. At least I got 40% off. And then next up, I finally found this brush in Target, and they had one left. And the reason why I had to have it is, again, because of Samantha Ravndal. She's always using creamy, glowy products on her skin, and she's always using this brush. And it's from e.l.f. It's the Beautifully Precise Precision Airbrush Stipple Brush. This is the packaging, and I've been after this brush for a while, and at Walmart, Target, CVS, They always seem to not have it. Either they're either sold out or maybe they just don't carry it. But I knew Target carried it. But every time that I went in, it was sold out. So I was finally happy to get one. It says 105 on here. And again, this was the last one that they had. I plan on using it with all of my newly purchased face cream products that I've been buying because Samantha Ravenel uses it and she just makes her skin look absolutely beautiful. So I finally got this guy. It's interesting. It's a duo kind of fiber style, but I'm trying to get you guys to see. There's the very, very sparse, longer stipple bristles. They're just not as thick as the typical stipple brush. I haven't used it yet. Again, I'm still toying around with using cream products on my face in general, like blushes and highlighters and stuff, but I really like that look, and I really want to be that gal that is like putting on the cream highlight and the cream blush and bronzers and stuff like that, and I am such a powder girl. So anyway, I got this 105 brush from e.l.f. I also purchased 2 more of the Wet n Wild Brulee eyeshadows. I dipped into my stash to grab another one because I had used one up. And somebody had said they were discontinuing these, and I just keep seeing them in CVS. But I'd rather be safe than sorry, and they were like $1, I think 79. You kind of can't beat it. But this is one of my favorite underneath the brow bone highlights, and a lot of palettes nowadays are just not coming with a matte brow bone highlight for my skin tone at least. So I always use this little guy. It's just a really handy one, super affordable. I also got this new CoverGirl Exhibitionist Uncensored Mascara. A new mascara from CoverGirl. It's kind of banked off of their Exhibitionist mascara, which is pretty good mascara. I got it in extreme black, and I got this at Target as well. And I've used it a couple times, and I'm a really big CoverGirl mascara wearer. CoverGirl just makes some of my favorite mascaras in general, like across all mascaras. I love the Supersizer. But this one I wasn't as crazy about. It's got an interesting applicator. It's like a more natural style bristle brush, but it's sparse, like more sparse, and the bristles are short. And I just didn't find like it grabbed my lashes super well. The formula is okay, but again, I do prefer the Supersizer, and I'm not crazy about the wand on this guy either. But I did pick that up. This is what the tube looks like. It's the Uncensored Exhibitionist mascara. I was watching Casey Holmes the other day as well, and she had purchased this Revolution Highbrow Gel, Cannabis Sativa Brow Gel. This is what the packaging looks like, and she was pretty impressed by it. So I was like, oh, next time I'm in Ulta, I'm definitely going to grab one of those. So I did, and I got the shade medium brown, and I have run it through my brows today, and it's a much thinner type of formula, and I feel like the little brush kind of grabs just the hair and just coats the hair, which is something I prefer in a brow gel. So far, I've liked it. I kind of wish that I would have got the lighter version as well. This is the middle version. I just wasn't sure, but I think next time that I go in, I will purchase the light version. It's not super glue type hold. I feel like it's more for defining and kind of just lifting up my hairs a little bit, but it doesn't have a super strong hold to it, but it does give individual hair color, if that makes sense. It's got a nice itty bitty wand to it. Again, the formulation of it is quite wet feeling and thin, but so far so good on this guy. I would have preferred it to be just a little bit cooler in tone as well, because that does have a bit of warmth in it, but with the MAC brow products that I use, it actually worked out kind of nice. I think I'm going to pick up the other one the next time I'm in town. But also in CVS, I saw a display for some Revlon lipsticks, and I originally just thought it was kind of their staple line, but upon further inspection, they are new lipsticks, and they're called Cream. And they say new on the bottom, Cream. So I purchased 2 of them. The little promo just showed a really shiny lip, and then the other half of the display I think had another different type of formula of matte lipstick, but I of course went for the Cream. So this first one is $7.55. Bare It All in the new cream formula. And this is actually the lipstick that I have on my lips today with Charlotte Tilbury's Lip Cheat in Iconic Nude. But really nice lipstick, you guys. It's a super, super pretty lipstick. Just a nice nude that has a slight bit of pinkiness to it. Very creamy and glossy. Like, it looks like I have a gloss on my lips. But you guys know I don't wear a whole ton of gloss. It's just a really pretty lipstick. They didn't have a ton of shades. I think there was maybe 10, but I really like the formula, and if they felt like expanding the color range, that'd be super, because it's a really nice formula. So the other shade I got is 762, and this is in Flushed, and it's more of a pink nude shade right here. It's a little bit deeper than I was hoping for, but it's still a pretty shade nonetheless. Again, in the cream formula. So that one again is 762 Flushed, and that one is Bare It All. Look at how shiny they are. And they just feel super nice on the lips as well. And then next up, when I was scrolling on, I think it was Instagram, I had seen, you know, one of those little ads where it says shop now, and it was a sale, and it was for Juno Co. And I had hauled their micro, or velvet, I think it was a velvet sponge. It's this one right here, and I purchased it off of Beautylish. It's got the, you know, the little velvet type of feel to it, and I really do like this sponge. It allows you to use so much less product because it doesn't fully like absorb into the sponge as much as like a regular makeup sponge does. The only thing is when it's wet, it gets quite large, and I just can't get into the smaller points of my face that I want to get into. So I would have to wet another sponge to do that if I wanted to use a sponge instead of a brush. And it was just kind of a little bit of a pain to have to do that with two sponges, because I wash my sponges every day before I use them, and I'd have to do two in order to do that. So I was really hoping that they would make a mid-size version, because I did also purchase the minis, but the minis are mini, and then the original is pretty large. Like, this is it dry right here, and when it's wet it does get, you know, quite a bit larger than that. But anyway, that's from Juno Co, and they were doing a sale, and I'd always been interested in their powders. I had looked at them on Beautylish several times, and I just hadn't purchased them because there's two shades and I just didn't know which one to get. And then the sale on the website, I was like, I'm just gonna try them both. So I went ahead and purchased both shades. It's the Juno Co Juno Blur Makeup Setting Powder. There's 20 grams or 0.7 ounces of product, which is quite a bit of product. On the box it says no caking, no creasing, no flashback. And then here's the box packaging right here. So the first one is the Brighten formula, and then this is the packaging. It's a square packaging with a mesh screen in it, and it says to, you know, dip the sponge, meaning probably their sponge, into the mesh to get the powder and kind of use the sponge to put it on. I like to use a brush to set my face, and I'm never the biggest fan of these mesh screens, because if I don't get enough powder picked up on my brush, and I usually never do when there's a little mesh screen on there, and then try to set my face with it, and there's not enough powder, it'll pick up my foundation. So I'm not crazy about the mesh screen. I have my little container that I dump powder into, so that's how I've been using it. But the Brighten formula does oxidize on my face. Both formulations of powder I feel are really pretty setting powders. They don't feel super dry on the skin or anything like that. I don't prefer them necessarily for underneath the eye. I still really like my RMS, but they do look pretty. The biggest reason being, especially with the Brighten formula, is it oxidizes on the skin. So I kind of don't mind it for all over on my face, because I like that little bit of extra color that comes through. But for underneath the eyes, I don't like my powder to oxidize. So, but the finish and stuff, the feel of it underneath the eyes is really nice. I just don't like that oxidation factor. The other one does a little bit, but the Brighten one does it even more. And it has got a yellow tint to it, the Brighten one. I'm going to try to get a little bit on here. Right there. Powder does feel super nice though. Very finely milled, very silky feeling powder. That does nothing, does it? But the other formula is called Airbrush, and this one is just kind of a white color. I feel like this one goes on the skin very translucent. Ever so slight oxidation to my foundation when I use this, but it's not as bad as the Brighten one. Again, both powders all over the face, very pretty. So if I like used one of my Bare Minerals foundations, it was a little bit lighter, I would set it with the Brighten, and then it would kind of deepen it up a little bit. This one again has the mesh screen in there, and again it's just kind of a white powder. And again, I don't know what that's gonna do. These two feel super nice though. And when I was on the site, I also saw this palette. It's the Cherry Bomb palette. I thought the little packaging was quite cute. And then inside there are two highlighters, a kind of bronzer contour and a blush. I've actually got the bronze contour shade on my face today, kind of in the back of my cheekbones and to bronze up my skin. And I also use the blush. I've been wearing the highlighters, but I don't have them on today because I wore the Becca one. And typically when I was using the highlighters, I would dip into the white and just a dash of this guy. But they're very intense, super pretty highlighters. This one almost feels like a pressed version of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Loose Powder Snowflake. Kind of, that's the feels that I get from this guy. And this color here is super beautiful. I think this is such a stunning color for like a bronze contour. It is a matte, and this blush has got a shimmer to it. But I was really surprised with how much I've been enjoying this little palette here. And this is, again, is from Juno Co. The same place with the sponge and those powders. And then here are the highlighters. This one, the white one is definitely more kind of chunky with the see-through skin texture to it. But so shiny. And I've really been enjoying this little palette. Like, I've used it quite a bit since I've gotten it. And again, that is the Cherry Bomb palette from Juno Co. right there. And then during the Sephora sale, I got the 4th installment of the eyeshadow palettes from Aether Beauty. This is the Amethyst Crystal Gemstone palette in the purple packaging. This is the, again, the 4th one that they have done. I had spaced this out in my last video, but I did get this during the Sephora sale. Inside of the box here, they always come with a cute little card inside with a little saying. And Aether is an all-natural beauty brand that tries to be really environmentally sustainable. So their packaging, what they say here, I'm trying to read it, it's in holographic, so it's a little bit harder. It says, "We have removed the mirror and magnets inside to be more sustainable. We strive to make the best sustainable choices in all of our products." So this whole palette is supposed to be recyclable here. But the one thing about that, like, it just kind of, I'm like, what? is they include a plastic insert. And it does have a little recycle deal on the bottom, but I'm like, it's still plastic. And I would really appreciate if they printed the names inside the palette as opposed to including a plastic sleeve like that. I'm just never a fan of the plastic sleeve. But if you do ditch the sleeve, there is a sticker on the back that does have the shade names on it, which I always end up ditching the plastic. With these palettes, they are not magnetized. You use this little kind of rubber band situation to keep the lid closed. And then here is the inside of the palette. There are some really pretty shades in here. The best way I can describe their shadows are their shiny shades have got this, it's again one of those more like sophisticated shine factors to them. Their mattes are pigmented and blendable, and in this palette you actually only have 3 mattes, which are these two right here and then this guy. This particular palette for me is a pairing palette because everything in here on my skin tone is medium or deeper. So when I have used this, I have brought in other palettes and shades to incorporate with it. Construction going on in my basement, so I'm sorry for all of the random noises. But let me go ahead and swatch these. These are nice shadows for an all natural type of beauty brand for sure. Because I know some of the ones that I've tried in the past, they're just not the best in terms of quality. I actually have all 4 of the Aether Beauty eyeshadow palettes, and I kind of feel like if you're just looking for quick, easy, and pretty, that these work out super nice. Got this guy, and then these ones. I'm not gonna skip one, right guys? The layout, you know, is a little bit different. Just some really pretty amethyst colors in here. And then these last 4, which are this guy, right? I'm gonna mess up, and nope, I did that one. No, did I not do that one? Oh my gosh, the layout though. I think I may have forgot one. I'm gonna swatch these ones. I think I forgot that one little triangle shade. Or maybe I didn't. Did I do this shade? I thought that I skipped that one. No, I don't think I did. We'll swatch it again. Oh my gosh, Tara. Anyway, again, an all-natural beauty brand, Aether Beauty, and this is their newest Amethyst eyeshadow palette right here. And then kind of sticking to the all-natural eyeshadow, I purchased both of the Ilia, the Necessary eyeshadow palettes. They have 2 of them. one in warm nude and one in cool nude. And I was reading the reviews on Sephora, and they have really glowing reviews. So I went ahead and I purchased both of them. I ended up getting them off of Credo Beauty. They were having a 20% off sale, and then one of the palettes when the Sephora sale was going on was sold out, and then two I got out of the taxes off of Credo. So both of these palettes are super easy to wear, kind of like everyday pretty eyeshadows, and they are that, you know, an all natural beauty brand. I think that the formulation of these for being all natural and stuff like that is really, really nice. So here's the cool nude one. And this one's got 2 shimmers and 4 mattes. This one here I can use all inclusive because I've got my matte brow bone and my deeper shades, and then a lighter and a deeper kind of shimmer. Super easy to work with these shadows. It's just a really easy look. And that's kind of what I found with both of them. But nice quality again. So those are the first 4. And then the bottom 2. And this one is a shimmer right here. And then the other shimmer is this guy up in the corner. And then the other 4 are mattes. So there's some pretty easy to wear shades. And again, here is the packaging. So that's the Ilia Cool Nude, and there are names on the back as well. And then the other one is the Warm Nude eyeshadow palette. Again, there are 2 shimmers in here and 4 mattes. This one I did have to bring in a lighter brow bone highlight because that one right there is a little bit too dark. For shimmers, you've got these 2 guys right here. Wait, yeah, these 2 right here. Swatches. Should I tell you how much product's in there? Total net weight, 0.05 ounces. Does that mean for the whole palette? Oh my gosh. 1.5 grams. So what's 0.05 divided by 6? If that's true, you are not getting a lot of product in here at all. I'm going to double check that in a minute. And then the bottom 2, which are both matte. And that again is the Warm Nude. Yeah, according to the box, it says total net weight. It doesn't say each. It says total net weight is 0.05 ounces, which typically, you know, I've got palettes where each shade is 0.05 ounces. So unless that's a typo, that means you are getting very, very little product inside of here. And retail on this without the sale, the sticker on the back says 38 bucks. That's interesting. It definitely looks to me like there's more than that much product in here because these are pretty decent sized pans, but I think that they're each 0.05 ounces. That's what they look like. But I don't know. And then next up I've got some palettes from Menagerie Cosmetics, which is an indie brand. I have got, I think, 3 of their other palettes, and they're just really, really pigmented, fun palettes from this brand. So they came out with the Killer Purr palette, and I had ordered this on pre-order, and it took a couple weeks before they finally sent it out, and I ordered it along with the Violet ink, which they had restocked. So this is the outside packaging for the Killer Purr palette. These ones I know come with a massive amount of product. Yeah, 24 grams. There's 12 eyeshadows. That means each eyeshadow is 2 grams a piece, which is a lot. And then here is the packaging for the Killer Purr. How cute is it? I just love it. I hauled their, I think it's called Whale Song palette a couple videos ago. So nice. This is actually the palette that I was wearing in last week's haul video. And that video just got super, super long, so I ended up not hauling it in there. But this is almost an all matte palette with the exception of 2 shades. You've got the shade up here in Prowl and the shade down here in Lioness. Those are the only 2 shimmers. Otherwise, everything else in here is matte. Let's give you some swatches here. And again, their packaging is so cute. You get massive amount of product. Yes, I have been liking Menagerie Cosmetics. So there's the top row. And then this middle row, which are all mattes. They're just very substantial, filling eyeshadows. And then the last row. So that's a matte. This one is the other shimmer. These shimmer ones are quite kind of thick in texture. You can feel like there's just a thickness about them, kind of like, I don't know if it's silicones that are in there, but they're a thicker formula for sure. So those are the swatches for the Killer Purr eyeshadow palette from Menagerie Cosmetics. Again, with the shades, there's a mirror in here, the packaging with the lions, super cute. And then the other palette's called Violet Ink. This is the outside box packaging. I love that they, you know, don't make the outside box packaging prettier than the inside packaging, although the Killer Purr packaging on the outside is super cute as well. This one is a little bit more plain. And then the actual packaging on this guy has got an octopus on there, kind of in the ocean. And all of these shades are bluish purples. There are 2 shimmer shades in here as well, which are these 2. And then these 2, and then these 2 right here are matte eyeshadows. This color right here is just stunning. Again, the shimmers have that thicker type of formula to them. Okay, isn't that pretty? It's like a duochrome type of shade. Look at that. And then the bottom 3. Here's your other shimmer. Very pretty purple. So intense though. Gosh, I'm just living. I'm living. So those are the Violet Ink swatches, again from Menagerie Cosmetics. Right to there. So cute. And then I also purchased all 3 of the Ulta exclusive palettes that Colourpop did. They're all kind of bird themed. I have only used 1 out of the 3 so far. So there's 3. There's Bird of Paradise and Lovebird, which I want to use those before I swatch them, but I also want to swatch them so you guys can see them. But I'm going to swatch the one that I have used that is beautiful. This is a beautiful, beautiful neutral palette. It's called the Night Owl. And look at these colors inside. They're like neutral with a hint of more of like yellow to them, and not so much warmth, but there's just something about this palette that is absolutely stunning. There are 4 shimmer shades and 5 mattes. You've got mattes right here, and then these 2 right here, which you can see the tones of those mattes are kind of like that mustardy color. I just think it's so stunning, and I've used this palette a couple times, and I just really get along well with Colourpop eyeshadows. More so their, you know, their pressed formula is what I prefer inside the palettes. If I'm using like their color or Super Shock shadows, I prefer them in the pot, because in the palette they're more creamy when you first get them, and then they kind of start to dry out. So I just prefer those in the pot. But look at how pretty that is. This palette is just gorgeous, I think. Then we got these 3. Again, these are Ulta exclusives, and I haven't seen them in the Ulta store, or have I? Yes, I did. I did see them in the Ulta store, and I saw them in store after I already ordered them online. Otherwise, I'd have picked them up in store, because who doesn't love some of that instant gratification, right? I don't know, there's something about this palette I'm just slightly obsessed with. I think it's so pretty. It's all inclusive for me. It's got, you know, mid-tone light, deeper mattes, and light mid-tone, you know, deeper kind of shimmers. Just super, super pretty palette right there from Colourpop. Again, that's the Night Owl from them. I'm going to go ahead and swatch the Flutterby eyeshadow palette, also from Colourpop. I had purchased this in the kind of all over glitter body powder. It didn't arrive yet, and yesterday, like out of the blue, I had a PR package from Colourpop and it had this whole collection in it, and I was just like, what? And I was so excited about it. I was showing these to my mom and she just loved this palette. And I said, well, you're in luck. I said, because my order that I placed with this collection is shipped and on the way. So I'll have 2 and you can have the other one. But I wanted to swatch this because this is the eyeshadow palette that I have on my eyes today and it's beautiful. The packaging on this entire collection is so pretty. Like, this is one of those collections that I'm going to have a hard time throwing away the packaging because it's so pretty. So again, this is the Flutterby palette. There are glitters. They kind of do come off a little bit, but there's glitters on certain portions of the design on the front. The box packaging looks just like this, and so does the actual packaging, which I love. I love it when, again, the outside packaging isn't prettier than the actual packaging. This does not have a mirror in it, but look at how pretty. Again, how pretty. I think it's just stunning. So there are the 12 eyeshadows. And again, all of Colourpop's eyeshadows are magnetized in the palette so you can remove them. The only thing that I would have preferred not to have in here is the pressed glitter. Again, because you do have to use a pretty good adhesive when you're using pressed glitters in palettes. I haven't found very many in palettes that are great, just being able to use them from the palette, with the exception of one that's in that new Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. That one is stunning, but it's almost like a hybrid, a pressed glitter hybrid sort. So it's not pure glitter. Anyway, that's the only shade I would have taken out of there and just put another like super pretty shimmer or something like that. And then you've got 2 shades that have got like the matte base with the sparkles in it, which are these 2 right here. And I did use this one through the crease. When you blend with those shades, typically, at least for me, all of those sparkles kind of go to the wayside and they just end up being matte eyeshadows for me. So the other shades in here are these 2, this guy, and these 2, which are pure mattes, and then you've got these 2 which are shimmers, and then these 2 which are shimmers. So let's give you some swatches here. Yeah, and again, this is what I have on my eyes today. I think I've got the Disney ones too, the Elsa Frozen. I did wipe these off. I wiped that off. They didn't come off. So here are the first 4. And again, I did purchase the Frozen palettes too, but I haven't used either of those. And this steel, I think out of any Colourpop palette that I've ever got, I think this is my favorite packaging they've ever done. The imagery and just the whole, everything about it is so beautiful. This color here is, it's like a baby duochrome, and it's stunning. And then this bottom row. Look at how pretty these are. They're so stunning. So that is the Flutterby Pressed Powder Palette from Colourpop right there. Again, this one was sent to me because I got this before I got my actual own order that I did buy. So Ma's gonna get this as well. And then here's the Flyby Pixie Puff Highlighter. There's 0.44 ounces of product in here. I've got this kind of puffed on my neck. It's just a really pretty kind of sparkle all over body powder. And this is a product, again, that I ordered as well. But look at this packaging. I just love it so much. It's kind of ridiculous. So inside you've got a big puff like this. And then here's the sparkles. And I'll just kind of take this puff and pounce it on the back of my hand. Maybe you guys can see some of the shimmer there. Yeah, you can kind of see it. I grabbed a little bit more. I've swatched so much stuff on my hands, I think my hands are starting to get stained for real. But it's just a really pretty shimmery all over powder, which I've got a couple of these. And again, what I like to do with them is just puff them. Oh, see how pretty that is? Puff them all over like my neck. It's just really pretty. And then the last 2 products from that collection that I want to show you guys are the Jelly Much eyeshadows, because those are the products that I've used thus far. This one is Bouquet. Boo, BOO-KAY. And I tapped these ever so slightly over the shadows from the palette, and that's typically how I like to use the Jelly Much shadows, is almost like a kind of a topper sparkle glitter type of shade, and they work really well like that for me. So this one is the, again, the Bouquet shade, and this packaging, it's got a butterfly on it. It's kind of hard to see there, but this is Bouquet. I like to say Jelly Much too. So that's the Jelly Much eyeshadow in Bouquet. And the thing that I found with the Jelly Much shadows that I have had for a while is they do start to dry out a little bit, but when they dry down, it's almost like they turn into a powder formula. So when they do end up drying out, they don't dry stiff where they're completely unusable. It's almost like they turn into again, a powder eyeshadow. So even the ones that I have that are a little bit more dry, because gosh, the Jelly Much shadows, some of them have the prettiest like complex sparkle to them, and I still use them when they're like slightly dried out because they still turn out really pretty. But this other shade is called Buttercup, and this is so stunning. It looks like white in the little jar here. Let me grab some Jelly Much. Then blend it out. I'm tempted to put this guy kind of on the top of my cheekbones as well, because look at that. Is that not pretty? And again, that one's the shade Buttercup right there. Like a big thank you to Colourpop for sending those over. Again, I did order some of those items myself, but I have got, this is no joke, and I'm filming something for you guys. I'm going to be filming a makeup collection video for you guys soon. So you guys will be seeing how many Colourpop eyeshadow palettes I have. I have every single one they've ever made since they started doing pressed powder palettes. Yep. So that's everything for my haul today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.